Hi, welcome back. My name's Vince, and today we're going to look at how to record a track in Studio One. Don't worry if you've got Studio One Artist, Free or Pro. I think they all kind of operate the same way. So we're going to open up Studio One. Okay, so the first thing and the only thing you really need to concern yourself with is this icon here, this create a new song. Don't worry about projects, existing documents. I'm guessing this is the first time you've really ever opened up Studio One to do anything in it. And if you're anything like I was, a year ago, it was all a bit of a mystery. Although I will say Studio One is probably the most idiot-proof. User-friendly, I guess, would be a better term for it. I got on quite well with Pro Tools. I didn't get on with anything else. I don't know why. But then I switched to Studio One, and I just thought, wow, this is just loads easier. So all we're going to click on now is create a new song. So we create a new song, and this dialog box comes up. All you need to concern yourself with is empty song. Already highlighted for you. Don't worry about interfaces, user, don't worry about the sample rate, resolution, yada yada yada. We can change all that later on. All this band recording, house technology, it's all, it's just, you don't need it. It's just pretty things, Anyway, we click OK. I'll tell you what, no. The only thing you might want to change in here, and I would suggest you do, is the song title. So I'm just going to name mine Blues. I've already done it, so I'm going to come out of this now, but you would type in Blues or whatever song you want and you would click OK. Okay, so this is what we're met with by default. I think it opens up the browser window, which is here on the right hand side. This area is where your tracks will be kept. I personally, to begin with, I don't think you're going to need to use any of this right now. We're going to focus just on building a track. So where it says browse highlighted in blue down in the bottom right hand corner here, just click that and make that go away. Gives us more real estate. But where it does say mix, I want you to click the mix window, and that's going to open up our master track, our master fader. When we create a track now in Studio One, you'll see a fader for that track down here as well. So we'll do that now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is create a track. So you can do it two ways. We can do add tracks here with this plus sign, or we can go into track in the menu and add tracks. Whichever way you want to do it is fine. It will remember your last track that you created, and it will remember the settings. So the last one I did create was electric guitar, and so that's what it comes up with now. So feel free to change it depending on what you're recording. Audio, yes. Count 1 means we only want one track. If you put 5 in, it will create 5 tracks. I colour code my guitars green. You can click on that and colour code whatever instruments, whatever colour you want. My guitars are green, my acoustics are kind of olive, because it needs to be a certain type of green, because they're all guitars. My keyboards are all blue. My drums are red, my bass is orange. My vocals are yellow, and so it helps in the fact that when you have them all colour coded, you know exactly where you might not know exactly where which track is, but you've got a rough idea of where these are my vocals, it's a good idea to work like that, but that's up to you. Anyway, so mono track, yeah, we'll deal with stereo tracks at another time. No preset. Input vocal, this is my interface, so I've already named in my the back end of my interface, I've kind of channeled it, so mapped it I should say. So my XLR in input 1 is for vocal. I've got a 1/4 inch jack for my bass in 2, my electric guitar 1/4 inch jack is in input 3, and in input 4 I have an XLR for acoustic guitars, and 5 and 6 I don't use, but that was for a stereo keyboard piano, but now I use it via MIDI, so that frees up even more stereo tracks, but I don't use them. Anyway, so that's all done. Okay, that, and there's your track. Hey presto. For some reason it's on vocal. Did I not change it? Maybe I didn't. Okay. If you forget to change it in there, you can always change it in here in the drop down box there. So okay, and it's coloured this green because it knows it's going to be for a guitar. Okay, so here I've just got my fader for this track. I've got here my left and right pan, so if I throw it over there it goes right, if I throw it right over there it goes left. If you press Control on your keyboard and just mouse click in the middle there, it goes back to central. Same as the dB here, so if you're flapping about trying to get it right just by sliding it, just hover over here, hit Control on your keyboard, it goes back to 0 dB. You're not really going to need to see your sends and your auxiliaries and your buses and all that caper right now, but you will do at some point. So it's probably good practice just to you can see right down here on the bottom left hand side where my cursor is. If you click on these arrows pointing up and down, you'll see here it creates your inserts and your sends. We're not going to be using any plugins right now. You can just resize the window here as well if you need to. We're going to arm this track ready to record. I've already plugged my guitar in. It's showing up on the interface, but it's not showing up on here, on my level here. That's because we have to arm the track. So press record, and it also defaults to record here. You can press it here and it will default, doesn't matter, either way. You'll notice that just because you've armed it here, nothing actually happens on the transport buttons. Okay, so although you're going to record, it's not actually recording at the moment, but you can see a level here as well as the actual meter here. I keep wanting to call this a VU meter, but that's because I'm old and this isn't. Okay, so I've got no plugins. I'm totally dry in here, and you can see my level here is coming in at about comfortably minus 24. It's peaking at about minus 16, minus 15, and that's fine. That's not a problem with that at all. What you don't want to be doing is peaking at 0. You really don't want to be anywhere near that right now. You want to be well under that. I'd say if you can get to minus 12, you're doing just fine. I wouldn't go any further than that. Some say minus 10. I'd just prefer to back it off a little bit more. So now we've armed our track, so we go over to here to where our record button is, and we can just record anything. So I'm just going to rewind, take that cursor back, press record, turn my metronome off because you might not want it. Okay, so we've armed the track. Now we're going to arm the transport control to record. The cursor will be moving and we're ready to play the guitar. You'll notice that when I press stop, my cursor automatically goes back to the start, and that's because I have it set that way, but it's not always good. So you can change that by hovering over the play button, right clicking, and where it says return start on stop, just click that again and it will stop. So when I record that now, you'll notice that when I stop it, it will stop wherever I leave it. So let's record that. Let's just say I made a mistake and I'm going to start again. Let's go back. Yeah, I made a mistake again. So look, stays where it is. Doesn't return to the beginning. If you want it to return to the beginning manually, just press stop and it goes back. Press stop and there we go. We have our first little bit of guitar on a track. If we create another track, again, the plus sign here, we'll turn the record off for that track so it's nice and safe. We'll return the cursor. Again, I'm going to use my return to start on stop by right clicking over the play button. It just makes it easier to record, you know, it's less flapping about. We press the plus sign for a new track. It's going to tell us the same thing. I still have to go and select my channel, so e-guitar, press OK. There's our next channel. Again, press record so it's all armed and ready, and now we're just going to jam over it. Okay, I think you'll agree that was one big mess. So now we'll play that back with everything center. I haven't panned any of these. Look, still center, center, and we'll see how that sounds. It just sounds like lots of chorus. Ooh. Okay, so it's massively out of time. It's pretty terrible, but let's pan one hard left, track 1, and track 2 we'll pan hard right. We'll play them again and see how it cleans up a little bit. Obviously it's not going to be in time again, but okay, that's completely improvised. I'm not normally that bad, but it's you can see that obviously by panning you create such a wide soundstage that things clean up. Not really much more I can add at the moment. I mean, that's how you get your tracks into Studio One. Okay, thanks for joining me. I hope that's helpful. It's been a bit long-winded, but you know, it's good to sort of explain some of the things as we go as well, you know, like the transport controls here. There's a couple of little handy tips I showed you there, which when I only found out recently, and it just makes all the difference. So cool, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon.